Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is part 8 of Yin and Yang. Enjoy. You scrunched your brows, wrinkled your nose and stared him down, fighting to find the things that you wanted to say and put them into a coherent sentence, but your brain just wasn't allowing you that privilege at the moment because it was too busy registering the look on his face. The look of pain and sadness? Why did he look sad? You were the one who was in turmoil. Your heart twisted in your chest and you felt the struggle all the more. Why did you care what he was feeling? Yin, Yorika asked gently as she walked around Ojiro and placed a hand on your arm. It's okay. You broke away from glaring at Ojiro and looked at her, then down at her touching your arm, and slowly pulled your arm away. Her touch felt different from his. Yeah, it's definitely a him issue, you thought, looking back to him with anger flaring up in your eyes again. Although you were really mad at him, your tail, quirk thing, wasn't reacting to the anger towards him like it usually would if you were truly angry at someone. There was a hell of a lot of tension just hanging in the room, and no one dared move. Not even Bakugo knew what to do. He was cocky and volatile, but even he knew that you were about to let loose if even the slightest thing set you off. Then, as if the anime gods had acted on their own accord, they sent their personal angel Aizawa, and he walked in. He stopped as soon as he saw the weird standoff and knew your anger issues were flaring up. He quickly sussed out the situation and called you away from the rest. Yen, he called to you, breaking you out of your whatever it was that you were stuck in. Come to the front, please, so I can introduce you. You just nodded and pushed past everyone, ignoring the crestfallen look on Ojiro's face as you walked over to Aizawa. You stopped in front of him, and he nodded his head for you to follow him to his desk. Sit, he commanded the rest of the students in the room, and they all meekly obeyed, whispering to each other about what had just happened. First days are tough, Aizawa commented to you as he took a seat at his desk. For most other places. You cocked your head at him. Be prepared for far worse. Today will be your easiest day, so make sure you nail it, otherwise I'll be disappointed, he stated blandly as he picked up a set of papers on his desk and looked at them for a moment. You had no idea what on earth he was talking about, but to you, all you heard was a challenge, so you squared up to him. What do I have to nail? You asked, your tail creeping out from the back of your pants again and winding around your arm. Classmates, you need to get to know all of them, he said. Fighting is the easiest part of this course. If you resort to fighting them, then I'll count you as weak, since you've taken the easiest route. What on earth is this teacher's deal? You wondered as you just stared at him, tail bristling a little. While Aizawa was talking to you, the rest of your classmates entered the room and took their seats. Once he had seen that everyone was present and accounted for, he stood up and walked up to the chalkboard to write something up there. You waited until he had finished, and then he turned around and beckoned for you to walk up to where he was standing. You walked up beside him and adopted a natural fight stance, somewhat glaring at everyone in turn. This is Yin Lin, our new student, Aizawa said. She'll be a much better fit for this class, so I expect everyone to treat her accordingly. Most people smiled at you. Ojiro did too, which made you feel a little funny in your tummy, and you had to look away quickly before it gave it away on your face. His face fell when you looked away from him. Aizawa continued. We'll be having a training camp this coming weekend. I've written the details on the board behind me, so take note and I'll hand out permission slips at the end of class. That's all, he said as he stepped off towards his desk. Yin, you're next to Ojiro. Your head shot up and you stared at Ojiro, and then back to Aizawa, then back to Ojiro, and then hung your head as you sped walked to your desk and sat down. You were keenly aware of Ojiro beside you. You could tell he was looking at you, but you didn't want to look at him. He made you feel funny. The first class that morning was, well, you didn't really know what to call it. You weren't paying a lot of attention to it, to be honest. All of your attention was on Ojiro, and it seemed that he was the same, constantly looking over at you. When the bell rang for first break, you finally bit the bullet and looked over at him. He blushed and quickly looked away, but you called his attention back to you. Hey, you called bluntly. I need to talk to you. Oh, he said sheepishly as he got up, cheeks rosy and face a little flushed. Yes, okay. I'll, take you, out into the hall. We can talk at one end, where there's a little more. Yeah, okay, just come, you said, standing up and reaching out to grab his hand to pull him with you. Kaminari shot him a thumbs up as he was dragged from his seat, but all he could focus on was his hand in yours. Okay, so you had a death grip on him and he feared that he was going to lose circulation in his fingers, but still, you were holding his hand. Although you were the one that was pulling him along, he was actually the one calling directions from behind you to guide you to a more quiet place, and that's where you stopped, at the far end of the hall, by the stairs, where no one else was. You started as you spun around, balling your fists up as you fought through all the sentences in your mind to find the right thing to say, but it just didn't come to you in time, and all you could yell at the moment was, "Stay away from me!" I'm sorry, Yin. What have I done? He asked meekly, his bashful eyes begging into yours as his tail hung limp behind him. I don't know what I've done to make you mad at me, but please tell me so I can stop doing it. He was being so sincere it made your heart ache. It's... You fumbled for the right words, feeling a stinging sensation in your throat that burned more the harder that you tried to talk. I don't like it. I don't want you around me, but... The sudden shrill scream of the bell made both you and Ojiro jump, and you both looked in the direction of the bell as it stuck to the hallway wall, momentarily forgetting about your conversation. We have to go back now, Yin. I'll stay away from you if that's what you want. I want to help you, so if that's what you wish for, then I'll do it, Ojiro said, stepping back from you sadly with his tail still hanging limp behind him. A sudden tightening in your chest made you want to follow him as he stepped back, but you refrained, leaning forwards towards him but refusing to take a step. Although you didn't move, your quirk did and acted on its own, shooting out from your shirt and wrapping the tip of itself around his wrist to stop him from leaving. Ojiro had already turned to leave at that point, but stopped and looked back at it in surprise, before you quickly wrestled your tail off him and yanked it away. Sorry, I don't know why it did that, you said with surprise and embarrassment. Oh, we're getting closer to Yin realising her feelings for Ojiro. Next part is up next Wednesday. See you all then. I've just completed writing this book. It's taken me a little bit longer because I had a lot to do. But it goes up to chapter 17. So it's very much an extended mini-series. So this will probably run for the next few months. But I'll see you every Wednesday for this one-shot mini-series story. I don't know what to call them anymore. Anyway, see you then.